It's October 8th, 2021. It's a Friday. There is a silver pole that used to have a dual walk, don't walk blinking system. Like, it's a hand and then it's a walking person by the 111th precinct. On the side where Hanuk and the Jane's Eatery and Chicken Lover and Lifetime Deli, that side. In fact, it's on that corner. Across the street from that is the BMW dealership. Across from that's NYPD. Across from that is Worry Bank. Yeah, Worry. I am. So now, on the corner where Jane's Eatery is, there was a silver pole, and it only had on it a walk, don't walk sign. Then one day, Nucci and I came down the block, and all of a sudden, one of the walk, don't walk, it's like a yellow, like a school bus, like a yellow school bus, square. It was missing for when we crossed the street from BMW side to Jane's Eatery side. Didn't think much of it. Then, all of a sudden, the one across the street from the police precinct, from the side of Worry Bank to Jane's Eatery side, it disappeared. Which I thought was weird. Like, why would they take something like that down? That's suspect. So, whatever, as my sons would say, that's sus. So now I'm like, trending word, weird phenomenon going on in the local neighborhood. Then Nooch and I were walking across the street, and he's like, hey, look, he's like, the crossing sign is back, the walk, don't walk sign. And I go, hey, look at that, it is back. And then all of a sudden today, we go across the street, and it's gone again. Totally missing. I'm like, now there's a surveillance camera. Forget satellite. We got satellite twos. Well, one of your departments said somebody special has satellites to confirm imaging. But for those that work on a Gregorian or a Mayan calendar, and not storm calendars and weather patterns, for some reason there's a surveillance camera that overlooks this corner. Now, does it just appear like magic and then change, like the corner changes? Just curious. Anybody notice the signs going on and off? Like, why does Tuesday's image have a sign, but Wednesday's image is missing a sign, and I did not see a work crew come at all to install or take down a sign? It's right across the street from a New York City precinct. Police precinct, no less. Anybody in Humanville? Just curious. On city and scheduling and planning and scary things that go on when you're too busy looking at each other and the phones and the football games and who's getting badges to go to Comic-Con and all sorts of, like, timeshare vacations and whatnot, rather than doing the actual work that's needed in the neighborhood and helping Port Authority to make sure they're doing the correct job and passing you the correct ball and meat for Thanksgiving. Anywho, so that happened. Nucci and I, he's only 9. We noticed it together. I made a mention earlier about a interview in Manhattan with some global operation, which, again, the words, I was trying to follow the man when he spoke them, but I did not understand in the word pattern that he strung together what he was looking for from me. He did not give any kind of direction or like real teeth into what I was there for, or what I was, the position, how it should be prepared, if there's a start date. It might have been something to do with UN. I don't know. Again, I'm not Manhattan savvy. It makes me confused and I get dizzy when I walk into Manhattan and around Manhattan. Manhattan has a different demographic and a different overture, I suppose. One that I'm not familiar with, which is why I stay out. I was watching on TV today. There was a scrubbed ad that came from Nassau County with a woman's face who was blonde that I've never seen before. And the ad says something about they cleaned up Nassau County. I'm like, wow. No idea when that happened. I've heard that they're dirty and crooked, but again, I don't have any confirmation on any of these rumors. I walked by Angel Valet earlier, and he told me he works at something called Benjamin Moore Paint during the day, and then he does Lazy Cow Valet at night. And I walk past, and I'll stop and I'll speak to him. He said that somebody at Benjamin Moore was asking about me and if I was single. I said, that's interesting. I was like, well, that's really difficult. I said, yes, I am. I was like, but I kind of keep to myself. I said, but I'm not really looking for just anybody. I was like, so if you want to just make sure that the message is really clear, I'm looking for somebody. Special Task Force Mark. That's all I'm looking for. I said, I'm a cat woman that behaves like a catfish. I'll come out in the river, but then I go right back into my own burrow, in my own privacy, and that's it. I was like, and then I said to him, I go, have you ever heard of AZERBAIJANI? And he goes, AZERBAIJANI? Why do you ask? And I said, well, I said, I'm 5'6", so I'm the size of a Soviet. Just saying. And so then I smiled and I said, have a good evening. And I walked away. That happened tonight. It's October 8th, 2021. So storm and weather pattern calendar match with my phone system and my reporting on YouTube. And cross-referencing on Facebook. So this way it's the same link on the same system for my one position. If you think about this. And the other weird thing is Linda went out with some woman named Dolores from where she used to work at Merrill Lynch, and which was Bank of America by the end. Dolores is a really wonderful, like, she's more Jane Cleaver or June Cleaver or whatever from Leave It to Beaver. She's like Quaker wholesome from afar. That's how she carries herself as a lady, in etiquette and in like quietness, which I appreciate. She's not overdone with makeup, or she doesn't have a really strong, overbearing personality. She's always been kind and nice to my face. And so she's befriended Linda. And they went out today. First it was lunch, then it was a walk, then it was an apartment, and it was never changing, whatever. And my mom, like, gets flustered and, like, annoyed when things change, but, like, she goes with the flow. And then all of a sudden, like, the whole day goes by, I'm in, I'm out, I don't say anything to Linda, I'm just quiet, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Linda comes out of nowhere, like the radio station dial changed in her pituitary or her pons in the medulla oblongata area of, like, whatever's going on in the cranial cortex of the cephalic region of her human. I don't know if she wears an I or a C spine. I'm not sure. But I wear an I spine. But now, so Linda being the mother figure, but not traditional mother figure in this broken matrix, all of a sudden she says to me, she's like, I'm not feeding you, you're not allowed to eat anything out of the refrigerator, and you can no longer shower. until I get vaccinated. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, no, I'm not getting vaccinated. She's like, then you can have no food, no shower, and that's it. I'm like, what? Like, the whole radio station dial changed, and quite frankly, so now the interior shitbag human is giving me ultimatums. I hope all of your fucking humans die in nuclear fallout. This is a disgusting experiment at my expense, is what it feels like. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Catarusa. I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Lewis, by the way, had a Gail King color representative who worked IT for years and helped him build some back-end website programming of disgust. I don't fucking know. It's about the time Frank Falco showed up. It's a real problem. Apparently, Lewis dissolved whatever business dealings he was doing with that whole shenanigan. Again, I'm orphaned. I should be on a ship on the water somewhere and nowhere near humans, and definitely not in New York during this disgusting fallout shelter period. So that happened. So I'm not getting vaccinated. I hope all of you humans die. I also noticed there is a Whoopi Goldberg color representative who claims to be a chief executive officer of New York City Health Commission of Mental Hygiene and whatever. I think he's in competition with the Gayle King representative, it looks like, of Yahtzee Chotsy. And they seem to have opened a lot of hospitals in New York City, pushing a lot of medical devices, medical enhancements, and vaccines, and all sorts of guerrilla warfare tactics to raise money for a future pandemic outbreak of a population that they are anticipating being sick and unhealthy and whatever. That's a problem. That's a scary problem. But it's all over the advertising in New York that there are these trustworthy people with labels on it. But I have a feeling humans are lost in quantum mirrors. That's what it really feels like. It feels like a lot of Hollywood and low independent filmmakers in cinematography fighting for some kind of airwave or airspace and putting it on advertising to see with what the public will believe is in control and in charge, and then like they just go with whatever is believable in some really dangerous situation. I don't know, it's just the kind of feeling I'm getting from watching the TV and then watching what's going on in the street, because there really is no social network. There's no religious institution here. I mean, like, they each have their own private houses, but there's nothing for, like, congregation in a realistic sense to learn about one's environment and one's safety procedures and one's protocols and what one should be doing or looking for, or how to keep oneself safe and healthy, or one's own children after being in a situation with toilet paper. So that's of mention. Again, it's October 8th, 2021.